and kind of get these quickly into your hands. For those of you that will have questions about them, kind of hold your questions, because at our first location I'm going to do a quick one-on-one with all of you. This group will pretty much already know what to do with whatever gear I hand over to them.
We can also answer your questions if he's busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always busy. We know that. All right, so quick demo. You guys should be able to see me in that camera, right? Red, orange, and yellow guy. So normally for a bridal party, that means I'm the hottest thing in the video. But sorry, guys. But anyway, we're literally looking for blue and black spots to move on their own. So this is recording audio and video. You will get the full video back. So Scott, when I'm going to give you cues throughout the night for starting and stopping this, because the hardware is amazing. The software sucks. So if we record for too long, it will shut off and we will lose all that footage. So again, I'm going to show you more about this as we kind of move along at our first stop. So that one's going to go to you. So we're going to use several different types of spear boxes tonight. And I'm going to get these folks squared away because you guys are going to be able to intermingle all of your devices. So this one in particular, I'm going to hand off to Heather, was it? Look at me getting names right.
Yeah,
so, I know, right? So this is a standard SB7. It does not record anything, and I have an open-ended speaker on it, and I'm giving this one to you because his records audio. I'm assuming the two of you are going to be attached at the hip all night. So I don't know the relationship, but I'm guessing.
We're married.
Okay, I'll take it. So at any rate, in the event you actually hear something, we'll be able to hear it on the audio as well. So the way spirit boxes work, just so you guys know, this is the white noise you guys hear on TV or YouTube, right? And then Zach Bagans tells you the bullshit he wants you to hear in the middle of the screen, right? That's kind of how these guys work, only ours are slowed down. I do that on purpose because you guys aren't trained to listen to these things all the time. So I have it so the spirit, like the DJs, the song lyrics, and the commercials will come through. So with that said, yours is going to be the only open-ended one. The other folks that are going to have them are going to have earbuds in. So yours, whatever you hear out of the song lyrics, DJs, or commercials, it's a 50-50 shot that I can tie to a location, a person in history, or even something going on with one of us. It happens all the time. So again, it's a 50-50 shot. You have one button to worry about. It is a volume button on the side of the ball speaker, right where my index finger is. You'll hold it down when I'm talking to the whole group, and then of course you'll turn it back up. It's a gentle hold. You just got to give it a few seconds and it'll find itself. So get used to where that button is.
I'll ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you go to the same spots like all the time, or do you mix it up?
So I'll mix it up from time to time based on whatever the evidence is telling me. So do I have a set route that I kind of go through? I do, but there's like certain corners like where we stop where I actually wait for the spirit boxes to kind of direct me on which stories to tell, because there's so many in certain corners of this Charleston, because it's craziness. And some of them are true, some of them aren't. So it's even some of them that aren't. If I get a clue about it, I'm still going to tell the story, but I'll tell you like, hey, this isn't a true story. Like we're going to do things based off of real history tonight, just so you guys know. Like none of this stuff is actually made up. So this particular spirit box, let's see which one we have. So this one is going to do the exact same thing. It's going to sweep through the FM radio stations at a very fast rate. The person who has this one is going to have earbuds in. So you're not going to know what's happening with it unless the person says what they're actually hearing. So I do give you a fresh set of earbuds, and I don't want them back. So again, I buy them in bulk. This is a new method that I've been trying on the tour. This is actually only the second night I've tried this. It actually worked out really well last night. So Kristen, you seem very eager. So
Okay. Oh no.
Go ahead and pull a set of earbuds out of there.
Okay.
And your hole is down here, and then your volume is at the top. It's a wheel, so you'll feel for the wheel. You're kind of sucking it a little bit on that. Yeah, seriously. You want to start box on the side. Yes. Have you used one of the S boxes before? Alright, this one is going to record. Okay. So that way I can give them the full audio back. So let me set it up real quick. Again, I'll give you a set of earbuds. Volume is the wheel at the very top. There it is. Earbuds are cheap, but I'm sort of loud. You're welcome. So that one will record. When I give you that audio back, the nice thing about those S boxes that I just handed out is it doesn't record any outside noise, so it doesn't know what we're saying. And second, even if they turn it all the way down, it still records at a nice even level. So I'll be able to go through the whole recording and kind of spot check it, and I'll give you 15 to 20 markers of things that I actually heard through it. If it's relevant, I'll tell you why, and then give you a backlink to verify. If it's not relevant, it'll just be there to kind of help teach you how to listen to the rest of the recording. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's why I use those that way. Let's see. Let's get into... So this is the neuralizer from Men in Black. None of you are going to remember a damn thing when I'm done. Lasers. Yeah, lasers are always fun. So, lasers get Nick in a lot of trouble. You can see the pen, you can see the dots. You can't see the lasers until something actually passes through it. So really what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking literally hundreds of pictures through these lasers in hopes that tomorrow morning when I go through them, I'll be able to capture something that actually went through it. By the time we actually, literally whoever has the camera is going to be taking hundreds of pictures through. We use green dots and red squares. In the event we capture something on the red squares, I can put it in 3D software and give you a full 3D view of what we caught with measurements. So, lasers stay on the ground, and lasers can set off car alarms.
Oh.
Just putting that out there. Which means that gives you the camera.
Okay.
So, go ahead and point one of your lasers down for me, just so you can get into this box. The box has a flip switch.
Oh, so that's what...
That's it. Yep. Point down.
Sorry.
There you go. There you go.
Sorry, I thought it was the panel.
So you're literally going to be taking pictures through the lasers, going straight through it, not down. Just so you know. The big button is obviously the shoot. The one next to it, in the event it times out, it just turns it right back on again.
Okay.
There you go. Hundreds and hundreds of pictures. Keep me busy tomorrow. We're going to let you play with your own kind of spare box. So this one is a little different. As soon as I can get it to turn on. There we go. And please not another device that's going to give me trouble. Alright, so this one is going to give us a series of words. Look at how eager. You see what? Just trying to take it. So, a series of words from time to time in the center of the screen. It will save all of those words to a list with timestamps. This is a phone app. It's mostly bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. 80% of what comes out of this thing, I'm not even going to count as any kind of relevance. However, the other 5 to 20%, it will be relevant to the location, person, one of us. Same thing with the other spirit boxes that we have in use. So again, at times, I'll say, sorry, I'm looking at you. Lily. Lily, where are we at with the list? So you're going to hit the little white scroll next to the word and then circle back. And when you bring this up, you'll be able to scroll through it once there are actually more than anything up there. So that way you'll be able to see it. Our first word is going to be Robert. It just showed up. So, very relevant. That one goes to you. Let's see. Millimeters. So this one is very interesting. So this is going to give us 3 different types of functions on it. So we always need some kind of, you guys have the blinky lights that you guys see on TV, the K2 meters, right? You guys see these on TV all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this one is way more accurate. So this one is just kind of like to figure out if we can debunk something really quick. So again, we're going to use that, but this one is way more accurate. So anything above 2.5 at the top, so Zach is going to go to you. Have you seen these before? Yep. Okay, I'm just going to explain to them real quick. So 2.5, I'm going to be excited. I want to know what's going on. That's the second dot on the regular K2 meter. In the event we actually have, I think this probe is going wonky, by the way, for the ambient temperature. So let's say Scott finds something on his camera, we can then debunk it by using ambient temperature. That's what this is measuring based around the yellow probe. It also has a REM pod built into it, which means it's detecting motion. So even though we're going to be walking, I have the EMF field set very small. So if something does get close to it, it will go off. So again, the closer it gets, the higher it's going to go. So again, we can use this as kind of call and answer. There are different color variations on there. I usually point it down so I'm not blinding everybody. So it goes green, yellow, blue, purple, then red. So again, we can use that as kind of call and answer pieces, and a lot of these locations we can usually get that out of it. So have you used that REM pod function before? No. On one of these? So it's on the back. I'll show you more about it. Last but not least, who's left of that team? We got Tammy. Amy's going to be telling me more about that last one. I'm going to keep her. So, this guy. Yeah. So, in a nutshell, you guys should not be able to see me in the camera, right? It's pretty dark in there. So, we're going to turn on some lights. working with full spectrum lighting, which is light we can't see with our own eyes, so hopefully we're going to capture something we can't see with our own eyes. So again, we're going to be doing start and stops with this guy as well. That way in between spaces we're not wasting video. But at the same token, we're going to be doing some rare footage with this just because it's certain locations only that are actually dark enough where it's actually going to make any kind of sense. So it won't be as lengthy as your thermal imaging video. That one will probably be closer to an hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes. This one usually runs about 40 to 50 minutes. So again, this one is a lot of fun, and it's brand new. We haven't caught a whole lot with it yet that is questionable. So hopefully tonight is going to be one of those nights where full spectre comes right through the day. So maybe puts this back to the table. And if you have questions, I'll go over more about that in the next communication. I think that I'm going to pass off a K2 meter over that way too, just because I know they all have to use them. So pass that back to somebody who doesn't have anything, so that way everybody's involved. And again, I'm going to keep Amy busy. So, of course she takes the K2. All right, lots of gear out here. So the SLS camera, just so you guys know what that big heavy camera was, that's the stick figure thing you guys see on TV. So where like the teams actually are looking for stick figures of people that aren't actually there. So that's really what we're looking for tonight. I don't know that we'll be recording anything because I don't know much about that device for this particular tour, but in any event, if you actually find something, I'm sure she'll be pulling all of us over to come take a look. So we'll kind of all be learning about that at the same time. So let's talk about any questions, comments, concerns so far. Everybody's got something to play with, right? What do you guys think? Yeah, I'll definitely give you the cue for spirit boxes up. So no, not at all. It's not necessary. They're not that sensitive. They're sensitive, not that sensitive. So let's talk about Big John's. That's why we started here. So there's a reason. Yeah, Big John's actually just opened up about 2 months ago. Obviously, you can see the big established in 1955 on the outside of it. However, it used to be called Big John's based on a football player. It was his bar. His name was Big John Kennedy. So, not Kennedy with a K, Kennedy with an extra C in candy. Easiest way to explain it. But anyway, this was his place. He sat in the back of the bar and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys come in, they're not old enough to drink. So he has the bartender throw them out. They leave pretty pissed off. They come back the next night and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John sees what's going on, gets away from the bar, starts pounding these guys into the floor, just beating the heck out of them. So what happens from there is a couple of gunshots go off. He gets hit in the neck and the bullet lands in the wall. So John gets up after being shot in the neck, goes back to the bar and tells the bartender to get him another beer, get the 2 guys on the floor and ambulance. So nobody dies in that story, and John's the only one that got shot. He's also the only one that got up. So what's haunting the place is the bullet hole. It's allegedly still here. So just a different type of haunting, and people that sit in the front of the bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, or headache. So it's based on EMF readings that you can get from the front of the bar randomly. It doesn't always happen. So I do have to verify that the bullet hole is still here. They just renovated the place. They just haven't had a chance to get back in. However, I bring the story up on purpose. If anybody starts to feel any of those symptoms tonight, I need to know immediately. I had somebody pass out on the floor just last week in nice, perfectly cool weather. I will explain that story once we get there because it makes way more sense once we're there. That is probably the scariest thing I will probably tell you guys right now. It's about your own heart. So just let me know what you guys got going on. And let's talk about something else. Do you guys take any Charleston history tours at all? Okay. So we had a big earthquake here in 1886. If you didn't know that, you do now. I'm going to talk about it several times. This is allegedly where the first death occurred from that earthquake. The mantle you see in the middle of the building also goes around to the front. So a piece of that broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and apparently it killed him, and you can see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street in the middle of the night. I say apparently and allegedly a lot with that story because I don't have any proof. It's just a great segue, so Heather's not thinking about getting sick on the tour. So she looked a little worried. So, all right, you guys all ready? Yeah. There you go. This is
Yeah, he said he's gonna.
Huh?
He said he'd tell us. We have to,
Tell
like,
you. He also said this would be like an hour and a half. Like
I don't know that. Just ask him what he's done. I know.
entire time with me, guys, should be kind of a ghost hunting 101, except for the team that goes out all the time. So this is your level 1. This place is going to be super easy. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. It's literally just a place for me to bounce around with every one of you so I can teach you something else about your device. So this is what I call the Big Red Barn Lot. This is where we keep your horses for your carriage rides. You guys can probably smell them. I'm out here 6 nights a week. I can't do it. So it's not that I had COVID. I'm out here. I've been doing it. So the only history here is really simple. This is the same red barn that we held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. That's it. 1860s and 1920s. So spirit boxes. We got several out here tonight. So first off, this is not television. This is not, is somebody here? Because if somebody answers no, somebody's here. Okay, so we're going to stay away from yes or no questions all night long. You guys came here for some kind of paranormal proof. It's not going to be in the form of a yes or no question. Again, this is not television. So we're going to ask things that are specific. In this location, you're going to ask questions you know the answers to. If somebody's here, tell me what color the Big Red Barn is. Right? An obvious answer of red. So we're going to be listening and looking for the color red, because Lily has the list where she has to look for it. So in the event that the spirit boxes that are using radio stations to convey messages don't have the word red in their vocabulary at that split second, the word fire truck, blood, heart, those 3 things are specifically red. So again, that would be an acceptable answer. What color is the Big Red Barn? Blood. Makes complete sense to me. However, most things, unless it's a direct answer, I require 2 pieces of verification. If Lily gets the number 40 on there, and you here come to my art class, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. We're right next to Big John's Tavern. That kind of stuff happens all the time. Keep in mind, you also might not get direct answers to your questions. At times, they might just start throwing us terms that are very relevant specifically to this person that we're trying to talk to. So again, kind of keep those things in mind. So when I say, what are you hearing? And you say nothing relevant, I still want to know what it is, because there's going to be pieces of the story that I didn't give you on purpose that I can still verify with you later on through your data. Again, this is all about verification. I don't want you guys coming in here knowing everything you need to know, and that's all you're listening to. So that's the kind of mentality that what we're trying to do out here. So spirit boxes, you can definitely spread around and start listening to your spirit boxes while I show the video cameras a little bit more on how to use those specific cameras. So Scott, you're going to stick with me. You can obviously stick around too, since it's just the 2 of you. And then, Annie, do you know how to use that REM pod? Can you show him a little bit more in the back? All right, so let me show you more about your specific camera. As far as lasers, nothing on vehicles. They will set off car alarms, so you guys can definitely keep them down, shoot a few pictures, and I'll be with you guys in just a few minutes.
Doesn't matter green or red or.
Just don't cross the streams. I know a bad Ghostbuster joke, but it does work here, because you want to create the biggest spectrum you possibly can, so that way she can shoot pictures right through it. Okay. All right, so for your specific camera, it is recording already. So the square, did you flip the camera already? Because I probably had the camera on the left.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Let's go ahead and hit that square, and we'll restart it again. Give it a second. So try to keep the camera on your left. YouTube doesn't like the flippies. It doesn't. So, but we're trying to keep somebody's skin tone in this camera for a lot of reasons. So if you were to point your camera at this blank wall, it's probably going to bleed out to maybe red, right? So if my hand or me comes into view, the wall's probably going to turn blue based on my skin tone. So my skin temperature is probably going to make the wall turn to a different color. You also have a cheat sheet bar on the left-hand side. You should have the variation of the highest temperature and the lowest temperature. I'm sorry, it should be on your right-hand side. So you should be able to see the fluctuation of the colors on that side. Now, when the sky is in view, it's going to automatically default to put the coldest spot in the sky. I'm sure you noticed the blue dot moving around a little bit. Do you have a blue dot?
Yeah.
Okay, so the blue dot is going to show you where the coldest spot is at any given moment in that frame. You also have the center crosshairs in case you need to measure something directly, so I left that on there on purpose. But you can I'm basically looking for major temperature drops anywhere between 15 to 30 degrees, or if that specific cold spot starts moving. So if you have a cold spot that's generally because you have somebody in view and it was just kind of laying out there on the wall and all of a sudden it takes form and starts moving around, obviously we want to get that on film. So that's kind of like what we're after with that piece. At the next location, I will show you a piece of evidence to kind of give you a better gist, but in here you have metal and asphalt and brick and all kinds of stuff just to get used to how the temperatures move around, and it also gives Heather a chance to start listening to the spirit box to get used to what you're actually listening for. And here, just yours is the only one that's open air, so the horses don't like white noise, so just try to not be too loud near the barn itself.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are actually good to go. Full spectrum, did you guys get the gist on how that one works yet? Okay, so you know I'm looking for things in the darkness on that. Okay. Figured you guys already had a good grip on
I
it.
was there already.
You already.
Sounds bad. Yeah.
You getting the gist of how to like flip back and forth on that guy?
God, there's something right behind you.
So normally there's a point of reference because, for example, like point the green one down. So this green will always be in the picture, so that way I know it's above or below the green dot. If you have both the dots on the picture and the top line where it's coming from the source, then it's a lot easier for me to be able to see something that's past that base. But again, taking the picture as long as you're going straight through it, you still might look at the edges no matter how many you take. The average honestly is you get 60. So you get free to snap, snap, snap. Again, it's not a matter of saying, okay, it's here, good. It's really like
So you heard pop and your thing with Andy?
No, so her list. What are you getting on your phone?
make sure everybody caught up. So is this what you you guys were hoping for? Something a little different than a normal historical tour?
I'm surprised there, but yeah, we were looking for something more than just the spooky tales at the different spots.
I've never done anything like this before. I've lived in houses with stuff. He's a skeptic though.
Okay. I normally ask, don't tell me who the skeptic is. I don't think we could see any of the planets anymore. We were able to see 3 of them last night. In the next clear sky. So, yep. Oh, yeah. Alright, let's get everybody over. Gotta know what you're looking for before we start diving in. Alright, so, welcome to another beautiful site of Charleston. You can go right now. It is a parking lot. If you don't know where to park by the time I'm done with you, I can't help you. I'm sorry. You have issues I can't fix. So, this place used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion. You're standing right in the middle of their meeting room. This is where it was. So, this particular lot is very interesting because other tourists won't come here because there's nothing to see. However, we can investigate, and there's a lot of history here. So, the mansion sat up here facing East Bay Street, the entire front of it, which is an odd thing. I'll tell you more about that later. But Eliza's garden was lined up with that white truck over there and went all the way across the back lot. And then the servant and slave quarters were stationed in the back. So that's kind of the layout of the land. So who the heck were these people? I guess first and foremost, those of you with spirit boxes, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the Red Barn. Okay, you're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes. So, Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses. That's normally why I need 2 verification pieces to know who the heck we're talking to. So the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Okay, big deal for us, but you guys are on vacation, and nobody wants to talk about South Carolinian politics, including me. So we're going to talk about Eliza. Eliza married Charles at a young age. I'm not going to tell you what that number was, but I will tell you that Charles was over double her age. So that kind of gives you a gist of what the numbers you're listening for are. She married him because her father over in England thought he was dying. And with that said, he wanted to see all of his kids one last time. Eliza didn't think he was dying, so instead she got married. This is the 1740s. There's no such thing as citizenship or a green card yet. So she did marry him out of love. So once they got married, she was right. Dad didn't die right away. He got better, and he starts sending over gifts from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. He's got it on right now. So that's how we still use it today. That's why her garden is so important to the investigation, because we never know what we're going to actually see here. Now, indigo was already here, but she had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated in our weird temperatures. It's not always warm here. So in the wintertime, it does get cold. So once she figured it out, she moved it to another plantation home in Mount Pleasant, just north of here. So once that started happening, she calls her dad and says, hey, rice plantations are going downhill. I need somewhere to sell this. So she calls her dad, and he starts sending her international contacts. So now we have an international businesswoman in colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. So I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg of what she's done for the country, but there's a lot of weird stuff you can ask Eliza that she actually will answer. So as far as her death, you can ask anything you want to. Hey, Eliza, how old were you when you died? What did you die from? Where are you buried? And what U.S. president was a pallbearer at your funeral? So again, I told you guys we're going to be going after very specific details. So again, if we can't prove it, I don't even want to know if you got an answer or not, because I need to be able to prove it to you guys that you got an actual answer. As far as the mansion goes, it's obviously not here anymore. You can ask what happened to it, and then when did that happen? So again, pick a tragedy. I'm sure you'll hear something. As far as the children go, you know she had at least one. His name was Charles, but I'm going to tell you there were more. But there is a tragedy among one of those children. Don't poke the bear. All activity will stop. I've seen it dozens and dozens of times. So if you start poking a bear about what happened to that one specific child, you get nothing. All the EMF readings will go away. All of that stuff is done. And it's just weird how it happens. However, you can't ask the names of her children and how many. After that, kind of leave it alone. If other clues start to pop up, I'll know it based on what you're telling me on your spirit boxes, and we'll see if we can probe a little bit further based on specific lead-ins. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. Ironically, both Elizas' maiden name starts with the letter L. try to figure out what the maiden name is, so that way we know which Eliza we're talking to. So far we have 3 Charleses and 2 Elizas. We need to, that's 5 people. I don't know who the heck we're going to be chatting with, so we're going to have to try to figure that out. I think that about covers the basis of getting you guys started. If you go rogue with questions, dates, names, specific details, things we can actually prove. Anything happening with the slaves that they own, they can't prove it. There's no records. So again, if you get stuff relatable, awesome, but I can't prove it. So take it for what it is, with a grain of salt. So we are going to spread out in this lot. We're going to stay away from vehicles, obviously with lasers. But also, people do not like their cars being filmed. So keep that in mind. If somebody's going to their vehicle, this is about halfway full so far tonight, just kind of go the opposite way. They don't know what we're doing out here. However, the thermal imaging camera that Scott has would be my first tool that I would have if I were a car thief. Then I know how long these cars have been here. And I probably planted a few ideas. So, at that rate, start spreading out, start asking those kind of questions, follow the EMF readers, so whoever has those, and of course the spirit boxes loud and proud in here, and figure out what's actually going on. And I'm going to give you the answers before we go if we don't get them. So whatever, I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. So again, let's spread out and have some fun. I'm going to check you guys out. Yes. 95% of the time. There's been a few nights where I've gotten absolutely nothing. Very few.
It hasn't stopped.
I know. I'm gonna be taking notes as you guys see. So as you hear things, I have to write your stuff down because it doesn't record. So again, I keep a little notebook with me. But again, let's spread out, turn them up, let's see what we got. I'm gonna check you guys in, and then I'm gonna start bouncing around with all of you. It's okay. You need to be able to hear it. So. My phone is just not wanting to cooperate with me
Hey, you can see the front of the cars, I guess, that were recently driven. They're all...
Yeah, so if there's heat on the engine, they just got here. No.
I think so.
Okay. 21. What is 21?
It says Liza Charles family names. That's why they name them all with the same name.
Eliza doesn't want to talk. So what's your last name? Ow! What else did you say about it?
What was your dad's stepson?
Love?
Love?
What was she talking about numbers? Oh, how old were you when you died? Is that what you said?
I don't know, basic stuff. Was your son blind?
No, that's yes or no.
Hey, come here. Look. It's kind of looked like there was a cold spot for some reason.
Right there, you mean?
Yeah.
Wonder if it's that thing on the
The fan. No, I haven't seen anything. Are you gonna ask her?
I don't know. You ask her. Doesn't like the answer today.
Her secret.
What do we know? She was married. Had the big wedding.
Who's your daddy?
About 35 degrees. Say, it's yes, no.
Questions and answers. Like, who was your son? What was your son's name? And then I would listen for cars. Or, I don't know what to ask like an indigo. What plant did you get?
What was the indigo used for?
was going to go use it for.
How old were you when you came to America?
I said, how old were you when you died?
How many spirits are in this area? Nothing.
I don't know. What?
You got anything on there yet?
No.
Nothing?
I mean, I hear stuff, I just don't know.
Well, what are you hearing?
I heard 2184, but not when I'm asking the question.
Well, again, sometimes they're just going to reach and grab for whatever's relevant and throw it at us. So far, she asked, when did you die? And we've got the number 5. She did die in the month of May. This month. So again, kind of a stretch until I get something else, but at least it's a lead in to try to get something else. So maybe try to go along with what the death was. At least you know it was in the month of May. Maybe try to get the year out. Kind of go along with that. Anything weird on your camera?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Definitely a skeptic. I'm feeling it, man. It's okay. You'll be the cameraman all night, and we'll actually have all the proof for you in the morning. Because that thing's hard to watch, especially on the small screen. So
I want to find something, so I'm not, I won't be happy if I'm proven correct with skepticism.
Alright, so what year did you die? I don't think she likes that.
Maybe I'm speaking too fast.
I don't want to yell. Gotta
Come on.
be nice to the ghost, right? Spirit. If they're right here, then they can hear me. You asked it, so you can talk to you.
Huh?
You asked it, so you can talk to you.
Alright, how did you die? Big what?
I don't know.
Rest of my face.
Did you ask how old?
I said, what year did you die? Think nothing. Every time I ask a question, nothing. I asked how old she was when she died earlier.
Wait, didn't he say about the president?
Who was president when you died? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
How old was Charles when he died?
What was your son's favorite toy?
He's walking.
Whatever.
Whatever, something. did do that. He really doesn't want us to know. It's cold enough. I got nothing else. I'm not asking the right question.
I think I know the yes, no.
I know. Because it's
Are you
easier.
wearing? Are you hurt to be wearing the same clothes? Did you ask for that?
Family and
What color was your house?
There you go.
Not. Doesn't like it.
They had slaves, right?
Yeah.
So how many slaves did you have?
Three.
Three?
That's good.
What were the slaves' names?
About
Adele.
I don't know. What was one slave's name?
novelties are
I don't know. Same question. I don't want to answer that.
What do you think of Nick? Nothing to say. When we're happy to have paranormal investigators,
it's on your first date.
or if they want to be left alone.
I really want to know how old she was when she died.
Maybe she doesn't want to talk about her death.
Okay. Then what color was your house? What did you plant in your garden?
How long did it take to come from England to America? You know what we should have done? We should have got those cards from the car. If you had to go on a road trip, Eliza, where would you go? What else was there?
Your favorite landmark in America?
What's your favorite landmark in America?
What do you got going on now? Anything?
Well, the only thing I got an answer to was, she said, how many slaves did you have? She said 3. I don't know.
More than 3. way more
He
than
doesn't
3.
like to answer our question.
There was 5 different plantation homes that they owned in the Charleston area.
Okay,
So
I
there was
don't know
definitely
that.
more than 3. Definitely more than 3. So have you heard any other words come through it at all?
I mean, other words come through, but I don't. Some of them you can't make out.
Okay.
I don't know.
We asked for slave names. Thought it began with an A or something.
Yeah, it sounded like an A.
Again, that's stuff I can't prove.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're out of questions.
All right, I'm going to do one more quick round robin, and then I'll give you guys the answers of what's going on here and let you know what else has been going on.
What should I do? What do you want to do?
Come on, Elijah. This is your time to talk. What do you want to tell me? I don't believe you exist. What do you think about that? Prove me wrong. Tell me something that only you would know. Well, then it's not provable.
Yeah.
But tell me something Nick would know.
How old were you when you got married to Charles?
Are all English dudes named Charles?
That was a yes or no question.
I don't know.
It was a damn good time.
What is this? We gotta look for cold spots. Is this like Sixth Sense or something? Doesn't it get cold? That's when they get angry, right?
No, I thought just having beers around makes it cooler. Not angry. Not because of me.
Yeah, like, how many bedrooms were in your house? What was that?
How many square feet was your house?
Probably didn't do square feet. English. Use a metric system.
They was here.
How
in
many
this
square
lot.
meters?
They was here.
I know that they moved it. What other stuff about the house? What color was your bedroom?
Pick fruit up.
Tan?
How old were you when you got married to Charles?
To check. I'm like, oh crap, I hit the stop button. I wasn't recording this whole thing.
That would be awful.
All right, guys. bystanders.
Oh, I did hear 843.
That's our area code. I usually discount that right away. So they just gonna chill over there, you think? It's okay.
Tammy.
It's all gonna be on the recording anyway. Jennifer's already taken this photo. So we had a couple of things happen. So we did get the word match and the word candle on the word list. The mansion did catch fire in 1861. So that was a great fire, which we all talk about specific fires because we've had dozens of them. This one in particular actually started at the Harris Teeter grocery store, came down this way, took out half the mansion, then literally went to the other side of the peninsula. So like this was a huge fire. The only pictures we have of the mansion are after the fire. So yeah, we don't even know how gorgeous it was in its glory days. So it's just interesting to have two fires, hopefully on one of the spirit boxes. We got the number 2 so that's right on that over. Eliza's death. So Eliza was 70 years old when she died. I know you were asking about 60 and 65. Close, 70. So that was in 1793. She died from breast cancer. So we didn't even know what breast cancer was at that time. We're going based off of her medical records. So the relevant thing is you asked me if she was sick. At the time, that's probably all she would have known. If you heard the word sick, she didn't know cancer, even though I've seen the word cancer here several times.
Okay.
So again, it would make sense that all you heard was sick. She died in Philadelphia, of all places. That's also where she's buried. So that tells you why Stories in a Cemetery doesn't take you to actual cemeteries. You're not going to hang out where you're buried once you're gone. You're going to go to your beautiful mansion in Charleston. So it kind of gives you why the reasons why we go to the places that we go to. The president, now that you guys know what year she died, you guys know which president took her to her grave, the pallbearer. We didn't get any names.
Are you kidding?
It was 1860. So we're talking 1793. George Washington.
That's when the fire happened.
Yeah. Okay. So she died in 1793.
Okay.
So that would have been George Washington at his own request served as a pallbearer at her funeral. That should tell you how important she was based on what she did for the country. So George Washington is one of 3 Georges we're going to mention. So again, I always look for that extra clue. 4 children. We did get that number, correct? Who had number 4? Somebody got the number 4. Was it you?
No, I got 5.
Okay. So 4 children. Obviously Charles, who signed the Constitution. Thomas, who actually lost his leg. It was shattered by a musket ball in the Battle of Camden, just south of here, a Revolutionary War battle. So that's always an interesting one. Then we had baby George, who did not make it. We don't know if the baby was days or weeks old. The death certificate just has the same month and year on birth and death column. So again, there's no grave, no headstone. It's a very interesting case, but at different times, I don't know what they did with infant bodies back then. So again, and as far as like what the baby died from, I don't think that that's listed either. Because I know you had cholera listed. You've basically heard it several times. Then there was one daughter, Harriet. So she actually lived in the Myrtle Beach area, Horry County. She married in Horry. So it wouldn't have been a 2.5-hour car ride because his daughter, lots of letters. But when the daughter shows up, it's lots of things about writing letters, ink, paper, pen, published, those kind of mentalities. I said there's going to be 3 Georges. Baby George was named after Eliza's father. So there's your 3rd George. Eliza's maiden name was Lucas. So what's her father's full name?
George Lucas.
George Lucas. Right. No, he did not invent Star Wars. So teenagers usually ask when they get their timelines all mixed up. So that's the interesting pieces of the 3 different Georges, the father, the son, and then of course the president. So we'll see what actually pops up there. Again, caught a few things in real time. We did get the number 5, which is definitely relevant to Eliza's death because she did die in the month of May. I'll be looking for that other number. What did I say? Was it 26?
Yes.
So 26. Hopefully we got number 26 on a spirit box somewhere. Not to mention the EVPs that could come up on the audio of the thermal imaging or my regular audio. You never know what's actually going to pop up. So, I think that covers all of the questions, right? Did you guys ask anything, Road? I know you guys asked
what she had in her garden.
Okay.
I asked.
Did you? Hair color. They heard the word poop. And yes, she did have brown hair. So we'll take it. Small win. Stretchy win, but we'll take it.
Works.
What else do we have? I think that about covers all the questions. Oh, I did play a little subliminal trick on you. When we got here, I told you I'm not going to give you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse. George Washington was one of your answers. So you all passed with a fail. Good job. So again, that's the only one I do to you all night long. So basically what's going to happen from here, we're going to go up East Bay Street. So lasers are kind of out of the game for a little while. Get Nick arrested. You don't want to go see Nick in handcuffs. So we definitely want to keep that out. When we get to Lodge Alley, well, we're going to stop at the candy shop because I think a few of you have to use the restroom, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll stop at the candy shop real quick. You guys can shoot it from the restroom if you need to, and then we'll go up to Lodge Alley. Camera. Who has a camera? So when we get there, you're going to take a few snapshots going down the alley before we all walk down there. You guys can stop your filming for now, so if you want to hit that red square. Come on up. Come on. We'll take some pictures. Just take a few. And we'll all walk down and see what's going on down here. Nice dark alley execution style, right? Here, couple. Stop here and I'll give you guys the gist of what's going on. Alright, so did we hear any names on yours?
I heard Jacob and John. Oh, I heard Jacob.
Well, John is definitely relevant. I know that one for certain. Again,
Maybe like Vivian or something. That's what it's, I don't know. It might have been wrong. It was hard to hear because
this is actually one of the very first streets of Charleston. We came over that last crosswalk next to those drunk girls. That was where the original Charlestown wall used to be. So Charleston used to be called Charlestown, the walled city. That's where the wall went. It went up Cumberland. We're going to talk about it again later on. I like to come down here because this is one of the first streets, and tourists love to see cobblestone. So that's why we're here. But again, these two buildings that we're leaning against, they weren't here. So they were little tiny shotgun houses. These were lower class people. I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived down here. There were 4 different Johns down here. Normally, I get John and Benjamin together. John and Benjamin were 2 out of 5 people that lived here in 1801. So I normally get them on the same night. Every once in a while, I'll get a third name, and that name is James. That would be a third person out of the 5. I usually get that about every 6 to 7 weeks. So I don't think that it's uncommon that I get the name John down here. As far as Vivian, I'm not sure. And then all the names you heard, like we're definitely have to mark the time on that one, 10:15, so I can check the.
It was when I was coming down the stairs, right over the corner where her YouTube was going crazy.
Okay, so probably about an hour in, roughly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll definitely be listening around that point to make sure I can hear them as well.
And I thought I heard something like Virginia. I know the gym part, so it could have been one maybe
Possibly.
John.
Again, the list isn't long. The other interesting thing about this alley is the fact that they actually had the Freemasons had their Masonic lodge here, which is why it's called Lodge Alley. So I've had the words brick, clay, that's what the bricks are made out of. Walking on, they're made out of clay. And I've also heard the term Illuminati here twice. So take that for what it's worth. Those lasers will probably set off alarms if they were in the building. So you know. Sorry, I diverted right to it. I'm like a bad dad with those, man. Like, I'm so, they did do an archaeological dig. So every once in a while, some of the tools that they found will show up on a spirit box or a word list, and like I'll get wooden and fork. You would think wooden fork, but no, it would be a fork with a wooden handle kind of mentality. So I'll go through that report to see if anything actually matches up based on what we've heard or things that show up on the word list. Which, by the way, where is the word list? Who has that? Have you gotten anything this week?
He was Jacob, Mark, Order.
Alright, so we are going to walk through the rest of this alley. We're going to keep filming until we get to the end, and then we're going to cut off the video again on both ends, so thermal and full spectrum. And then we're going to be cutting through a neighborhood because we're literally right on the edge of where the tour guides are allowed to take you. So I cannot make a left what stories I need to tell up there. And then we're going to dive into a female pirate over at the Powder magazine. So we'll kind of get into that mentality too. So if you're into pirates, this one's a weird, odd story. So it's a whopper for sure. It's a little weird. So definitely listen in on your spirit boxes along the way. Let me know what you guys hear. But we will stop at Philadelphia Alley just across the street from it because I technically cannot take you down it. And we will kind of go over that because it's probably remember Philadelphia Alley from last year. I'm the guy that got caught going in an area that he's not supposed to go with. You guys joined the annoying group tonight because you have blinky lights, right? And there's neighbors down at the end of that alley. So we will go by. I will still tell the story because it's very interesting. And I would love for Jennifer to get some footage going down the alley. She can probably walk down it by herself while I tell you guys the story because she's already heard it.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll capture something for us. So let's go check out Philadelphia Alley.
Mapping in here, let me see. And if you see something, like if he's nobody's there, that's when you kind of know. And like you just passed, and so it's also reversed. So he was on this side, so it's over on that side. It's just the way the neck works.
Yeah.
And in times or two, it might map in like a pole or something, but you just have to be aware of what's there.
Yeah.
I tried it at home for chairs and whatnot, and it didn't map in any chairs, but it did have a Halloween witch, and it mapped in the witch. I said, well, she's haunted, or it's mapping it in.
This building. So you can see the other quarters are already done. We can definitely turn that down here so I can tell you what's going on in this alley. Again, at the end is where it's residential. So again, the tours are on this end because they're allowed to be on that side. I normally come over here so you guys can at least look down it. If somebody wants to take a venture down there with a spirit box, they can. But this is called Philadelphia Alley because we named it that when dueling became illegal and stupid. So it used to be called Duelers Alley. So this is where the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. What happened down here, there was a doctor that moved to Charleston from Rhode Island because he was supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. The doctor's name was Joseph Brown Ladd. So if you guys hear any of those names, let me know. But Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and there was an attorney handling all of that money for her. and he told her to get rid of the doctor that he was just after her money. So he comes to Charleston to set up his new practice, and the coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. So it wasn't a very good start to Charleston. So somebody walking by named Ralph Isaacs. Keep in mind, Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from, R.I., Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We're working with a lot of paranormal stuff here. So Ralph sees what's going on, and he takes the doctor to a friend's house at 59 Church Street, which we're going to go up on Church Street here in a moment. But he takes him there so he's safe. He basically saved his life. So the two become friends, and then the doctor's practice starts to take off. So he becomes known as the whistling doctor, right? Every haunted city has a whistler. Ours is a doctor. So the man is moving down soon. He's making lots of money. He's doing pretty well. So him and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. It's the hierarchy of Charleston. So they talk about these plays on the way home. One night they go see William III from Shakespeare, and they start arguing over the new actress that was here. So the doctor loved her, Ralph did not. Ugly argument. Then Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée Amanda back home. So obviously it gets even uglier. They go their separate ways. Ralph is from here. He goes to his friends at the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what a disgrace he thinks the doctor is. The doctor sees the ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley, we're going to settle this. So they come down, they take their 20 paces, they turn, the doctor pointed his gun in the air and he shot him. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to make a point and have the courage to show up to the fight. However, Ralph has his one shot. Sorry, Lily. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So he didn't die. His friends picked him up and carried him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, probably from bleeding out. But they say as you walk through this alley, which is always very quiet, daytime or nighttime, that you can hear the whistles and or gunshots from the doctor. Keep in mind, locals all know the story. So even myself, walking back to my garage every single night, I still throw a whistle down Philadelphia Alley every single night, just to throw somebody off. So, a little closer, buddy. So,
Maybe watch out for the damn color.
yeah, pretty close. So, it is definitely Saturday. Definitely. But this is a very cool alley. Again, this is one of the places where I'm technically not allowed to take you all the way down. I don't even venture anymore because I'm not about to piss off the neighbor again. So I'm the guy who got the phone call. So let's just put it that way. But again, did you guys hear anything? I know some of you still had your earbuds in. Okay, Lily, anything on your list? Because we do get a lot of terms wrapped around this.
Incorporate into Mason.
Mason from Lodge Alley. Freemasons. Okay. All right. We are actually going to go up to this corner and make a left. It doesn't look like Jennifer's going to get the chance to go down there with her camera. It's too clogged up.
Oh, yeah, because I'm mapping all the people. Yeah. Go ahead.
Red.
USB-C on my car. I couldn't find my solar charger. I just moved, so everything's all movable on the car. Look, I have like a solar pack. Like it'll charge like 6 items at once. So I just couldn't find it.
Yeah, there's some backup. But yeah. But that's like I said, I'm trying to work out the kinks right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I turned it off to make sure the
Yeah. If it charges by USB-C, you can probably charge it in my car if you need to. All right, this is where you guys get to have a seat for a minute, and we're going to look at Lily's list and see what's going on. There's a lot of stories on this street corner.
Hey, Zach. I need to switch off with you a minute.
Sure, that thing's heavy.
Yeah, it's just.
That's something I need to consider if I'm going to add it to the tour. All right, so nothing on your list that's going to be relevant to anything specific. specific. If you guys actually take a look behind you, that wall back there, it does lead to Philadelphia Alley, and there's a doorway in the middle. The reason why that doorway is there is so when there was a loser to the duel, they would pick up the loser, the dead guy, bring him over the courtyard, take him over to St. Philip Cemetery, drop the body so they could celebrate the winner quicker. It was just a shortcut, so they didn't have to go all the way around the block. So every ghost tour in town stops at the church. So I'm going to go straight into that so you guys wonder what the hell they're doing up there, dragging it out for 10 minutes. So it's an interesting story. There's two different sides to the cemetery here. So we have the eastern side and the western side. The eastern side is for native Charlestonians only. So Charles Pinckney, the husband, is actually buried over here. This is for everybody else on that side. For you history buffs, John Calhoun is buried on that side. So they moved his sarcophagus several times trying to figure out where the hell he was supposed to go. You can visit the sarcophagus during the daytime. The eastern side is usually closed down for renovations because of the age of the cemetery. So you normally can't walk through it. Wintertime, I think they open it up for a few weeks, but it's not for very long. And I think I've only been through this side once, if that tells you. I mean, I've been here for 5 years, so no, I've seen it open once. But anyway, the story that they're telling is that there's right inside the gate of that cemetery, it says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. Of course, there's a reason for that. Oh, come on through, ladies. How you doing? Oh, you're good. You're good. It's a great night for walking. We know. So, no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. 1888, a young lady died by the name of Sue Howard Hardy. Ironically, and cheesy as it is, and I hate to do it, her initials, Sue Howard Hardy. And I wouldn't even tell you that if I haven't heard it and seen it for myself. So, Sue died 6 days after her stillborn child. So, I don't know what the cause was, but that was the date. 1987, 99 years later, local photographers in town taking pictures of all of our beautiful cemeteries, and he's going to put a book together. He does capture a full apparition of a woman over that grave with wearing a shawl and a baby basket next to her. Now, when I say apparition, it's very clear what's in this picture. For guys like me, this stuff is gold, right? So it's actual proof, but it's 1987. He sends it to Kodak. I don't think I have to explain what Kodak is to this group. That's nice. So he sends it to Kodak, and they can't debunk the picture either. But it is very clear. However, the picture is cursed. Females that hold this picture, even handling it on your phones, have the same symptoms I told you about at Big John's. Headache, queasy, nauseous. So I don't show the photo. They do. However, females that are pregnant and hold this photo are probably not going to have a good pregnancy based on the gist of the story. Remember, there's a cold baby, a stillborn child. And when I say cold baby, I only say that because I've seen it and heard it on spirit boxes at this location several times. It is a legit story. So I'm not going to be the guy where somebody had a great vacation and 9 months later I ruined your family. So I'm not showing the picture. So again, if something comes up relevant to that story, there will be a heated warning. This group is mainly females. So there's what, 4 guys here total? Out of 11, 12 of us. So again, we're outnumbered. Sorry, not showing it. Trying to think what else. That little corner building over there is also haunted. That's Bocce's. So I'm actually looking to open a shop where I sell ghost hunting equipment and sell books on the paranormal. Haunted hotel upstairs. That's one of the buildings I'm looking at because the mirrors don't like to stay on the walls there, and when they fall, they don't break. There's a whole theory behind that, with it being a portal, but we won't get into crazy conspiracy theories on that right now. But the doors also don't stay locked, and the reason why Bocce's left is because the doors won't stay locked. So it's being used as some kind of supply for atomic condoms right now, I believe. So why is everybody interrupting me? So oh, that's really loud. So one last thing before we go investigate this pirate. I want to get your mindset on pirates. You're being attacked? Like, seriously? Through the crowd, but there's a burning gas lamp on a house down there. I feel like we need to take cover. What do you think? The burning gas lamp is what we call the pirate house. You can't miss it because it has an anchor on the front of it.
Alright, so the questions were, what's her name? Anne?
Yeah, okay.
What was your dad's name, right? I didn't hear it. What was your mother's name?
What was the judge's name? The judge's name that sentenced you.
Judge that sentenced you. I don't like to answer names. What was the other question he said?
The name of the ship?
Right.
Calico Jack ship.
So what was the name of Calico Jack's ship? They probably don't want to talk to me because you're a skeptic.
Because what?
You're a skeptic.
Yeah, I give some of that stuff. Deal with the missing questions, like stuff like this.
I'm interested in know if she knew that one was a woman dressed up as a guy. And knew that other pirate.
Mary?
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah, they teamed up together.
I heard the word flash come out of that. It's not relevant, but I heard flash.
Oh, I was talking, so I didn't hear that.
She heard her maiden name.
I heard my
like,
maiden
wow.
name over by the Philadelphia
Which is what?
Aikens.
Aikens.
Yeah, it was weird. We were coming up on it. And I was like,
I want to say there was an Aiken that lived in Lodgetown. Now I'm going to be diving into that.
oh, there you go. It was kind of weird. I was like, oh, pirate. Finally went.
Congratulations.
Sometimes it's hard to understand what it's saying.
Yeah. And that's with the recording, like the ones with the earbuds. So when I'm listening to the recording in the morning, I got earbuds in both ears. Everything else is tuned out. That way I can definitely catch what's there. Now, I'm not going through the whole thing, obviously. So for every 5 minutes, I listen to about a minute of it. If I hear something, I write it down, put it in your analysis. That way, if it's relevant, I can give you the links, that kind of thing.
Right.
But like real time, it's hard. It is. It's very hard.
And I think being next to a skeptic is harder. They don't want to talk. Hopefully, maybe that group left by now. They'll probably walk up.
No, there's another one coming right behind.
What do they just do? Chores? Not the
so
food stuff?
There's some really good tips. And I'm actually fishing on Monday because I'm looking to like change up some locations. I do it every November because I get repeat customers. They don't want to go to the same places every time. So I'm gonna throw Monday thing. And he's what I consider a master storyteller. Like this guy's just amazing. Like his podcast and the way he writes things, he's awesome. So I will take his walking tour just to get some more legitimate history. See what's actually out there. I'll record the whole thing so I can research it. You know, it's just constant. You just gotta keep up with it. I gotta keep up with the equipment. I gotta keep up with different stories. especially consider I advertise it that way, that it's family friendly.
What's the youngest you've had?
4.
4? Really? Okay. We
the,
have 6.
the average age I get is between 6 and 9.
Okay.
Usually boys. I'll get every once in a while. It's the younger, like pre-adolescent girls who want to come because they're watching the YouTube stuff. So like between 11 and 14, I'll get a lot of them. But as far as like single-digit ages, it's usually boys.
Yeah, our daughter is 8, almost 9.
Okay.
And she is the scariest person of them.
No.
She loves, like, it is her favorite.
Okay.
So she's...
I got a 15-year-old right now that's like that. And she's on the tours when she's down here. But obviously she's sick right now. But with that, like, she's on the tours and I have to tell her to tone down the makeup because she will scare the kids. Like no whatever tonight. No crazy boobs. Like, it's a family-friendly history ghost tour. Like, I mean, if you notice, like, I'm not a scary guy, right? First off, and I'm telling history. So with the kids, they usually get specific tools. If it's a younger kid, I give them something with lights. You know, obviously the K2 meter, keep him active, because some of that history is going to blow up. I know that. But like the pre-adolescent girls, they're getting a spirit box every time. Every time.
It says 13%, by the way.
13%?
Yeah.
Why are all of my batteries down? That's crazy.
You gotta walk up there now.
Yeah. So, you know, what do you like so much about pirates?
Why do you like number 1 something?
And then she married a regular guy after. I wonder if she had him dressed up like a pirate.
Oh, role playing.
Yeah.
I'll bite that bit.
If you role play with your new hubby. Oh, so yes or no. Oh, what was the question today? What was the name of Calico Jack's ship?
Probably gotta say it loud enough to be picked up on this.
I'm sure it is.
That's coupon.
So what was the name of your dad?
The disco.
I'm getting your name.
Oh, and the baby was gone, right? The baby was gone.
Yeah.
So what happened to the baby?
What happened to your first baby?
In Jamaica.
Cuba.
Cuba.
Wonder if she gave it to somebody else. More people are coming.
was an issue here with pirates, and he ended up being sentencing 29 pirates to hang. And they were hung down on the battery, right where the big oak trees are, in front of all those big beautiful homes in the park down there, where brides like to take their pictures. That's where they hung the pirates. Okay? So all the gallows were lined up there. And Judge Nicholas tried to sentence these pirates to hang, but it wasn't just his sentence came to
And see where warm spots.
Not doing another tour. Have we heard anything on your end? They're getting a couple of things. Alright. What they're looking for. Yeah.
Do you want to shave off your shirt?
Alright.
Oh, right here.
That are definitely relevant, and then I will go ahead and start collecting devices. You guys can ask me a million questions. I'll get you guys back. I'm sorry you're from.
I know. The Ubers were taking a lot longer.
Yeah, she's gonna
She said that it was going to be another like 15 minutes for the Uber, so that.
So, Anne Bonny's parents, Mary Brennan, William.